Welcome to our United for Math series on area and perimeter. In this series, we'll be using formulas to find both the area and perimeter of rectangles. We'll also be looking at complex shapes and finding area and perimeter with missing sides. In this first lesson, we're going to focus just on finding perimeter. Now in 3rd grade, students started using perimeter, but found it by adding up all the sides of an object. Now we're going to apply a formula to that. And this formula is 2 side plus 2 side. So let's look at our first rectangle and apply that formula instead of just adding up the sides. In this first example, it says, write an equation to find the perimeter of the rectangle. So we should be able to find that equation already because we've done that in a previous lesson. So that equation that we're going to be using is the formula. So it is perimeter equals 2 side plus 2 side. When we see this side, that means multiplication because it's right next to the number. So students will want to write that 2 times something plus 2 times something. So in this case, we're looking at the height of the object and the length of the object. So we have 2 feet and 10 feet. Previously, they would have said, okay, 2 feet plus 10 feet plus 2 feet plus 10 feet. But instead, we're going to apply our multiplication skills to that. When you're working with students, you really want to tell them to focus on utilizing that formula. They're going to want to keep going back to adding up those sides together. And that's totally fine if they're checking their answer. But try to get them and push them to use that formula so they can apply their multiplication skills. So since we have 2 feet on this side and 10 feet on this side, we're going to enter those numbers into our formula. So we have 2 times 2 and 2 times 10. Now we know that it's going to be the same number on both sides because we understand that with a rectangle, the opposite sides are the same. So that's why we have 2 times one of the sides and 2 times the other. So we have 2 times 2, and that's 4. And we're going to add that to 2 times 10, which is 20. 4 plus 20 is 24. So the perimeter, or the distance around this rectangle, is 24 feet. When students are writing their answer, encourage them to put that unit of measure, or feet, like in that last problem. Because that way we know that we're looking at linear feet, or the length around the object. Let's look at our next problem. In this example, we have a word problem where we're going to be using perimeter. It says Liam needs to buy fencing to put around his rectangular garden. So there's a key word for us, around, because that means perimeter. The length of the garden is 12 meters, and the width is 4 meters. How much fencing does Liam need to go around the entire garden? So let's use our cubes method. We're going to circle 12 for 12 meters, and the width is 4 meters. Then we're going to underline our question. How much fencing does Liam need to go around the entire garden? Then we're going to look at keywords. Now I've already boxed around, and then we have around again here in our question, which means that is perimeter, again, like we said. Now they're telling us the length and the width, so we know that this is going to be a rectangular garden. And those are all important key words for me to really draw it out if I need to. When I say draw it out, it's something that I encourage students to do all the time. When in doubt, draw it out. If you can't really see or focus on the equation, create a model that looks like it. Create that garden on your piece of paper instead of just imagining it in your head. So if we were imagining this rectangular garden is 12 meters in length, we could say it's that long, put a 12 there, and 4 meters in width, so it would be like this. So 4 meters and 12 meters, and we could really draw out that rectangle to help us visualize the perimeter. So if we're looking for around the garden, we're looking at perimeter, and we want to look at that perimeter formula. So perimeter formula, again, was P equals 2 side plus 2 side. So let's put in our numbers from our rectangle. So we'll have 2 times 4, and we'll add that to 2 times 12. 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 12 is 24. If I add those two together, I'm going to get 32, but that's not my answer, remember. It's going to be 32 meters. So my perimeter is equal to 32 meters. So the big difference here for perimeter between 3rd and 4th grade is that we're applying that perimeter formula. We want to encourage students to use formulas like these because as they go through the years, they're going to be using more and more formulas or recipes to find those answers. And that's what I always equate it to. It's like putting in the information into a recipe that you always have. And it gives them a good way to visualize what a formula really is. So I hope this helped you understand what perimeter is and how to apply it to 4th grade students. In our next lesson, we'll be looking at area using the area formula. There's another formula for you. Thank you again for joining us at United for Math. We'll see you in our next lesson.